Yo guys, what's going on? I'm Tim. This is the Cash Killing AC Sports Report. Throughout this week, myself, Justin, and AC will be releasing our NFL divisional round previews, so check out that stuff. We will preview every game. We meant to last week. We had a live show where we were even going to preview the Sunday games, and we got so into the Saturday night games that we just basically forgot to do it, which was pretty weird actually, but regardless of that, I was planning to make a video about Ryan Madsen signing with the Reds, but then I realized no one honestly really cares that much, so I'm going to give you this instead. Manish Mehta, aka the Jet Stream on Twitter, I have talked to the guy before. He's a pretty nice guy. Tried to have him on the show a few times, and we just haven't worked out a possible time, but there's a good chance eventually you'll see him on the show. He covers the Jets for the New York Daily News. He's the beat writer for the Jets, does a real nice job. Got some interesting quotes from a player on the team, and I want to read you this quote first and then give you my reaction. He said, this anonymous player said, "We have to bring in another quarterback that will make him work at practice. He's lazy and content because he knows he's not going to be benched." And I mean, Rex Ryan has tried to pull the, oh, I'm going to put Mark Brunell in, whatever the case may be. The bottom line is, it's Mark Brunell. The guy was a bust wherever he's ever been, whether it was the Jaguars, the Redskins, whatever. You're not benching. If you want to have a legitimate chance to win anything, Mark Sanchez is not probably your best option, but Mark Brunell doesn't give you any options. So, I mean, at that point, what do you really have to do? Now, a source within the team, well, let me say this first. About that original quote about him being lazy or whatever, I do not know if Mark Sanchez is lazy because I don't cover the Jets on a day-in and day-out basis. What I know is that the guy has not gotten the job done to the level that he's needed to get the job done, and that especially has gone for late in the season this year. He really looked awful. Against an Eagles team that the defense was terrible for most of the year, he should have been a lot better. Against the Giants, he should have been a lot better, and he just flat out was not. End of story. He did throw for 26 touchdowns and 18 picks, and the 26 touchdowns, that makes you think that he actually had a much better season than he's had in his career. I mean, if you watch the games, you know that 26 touchdowns really lies to you. The 18 picks is a lot more telling. That went up from after his rookie season where he had 20 picks. He got his picks number down to 13, which still isn't great, but it's a pretty respectable number. If you throw 26 touchdowns to 13 picks this year, that's a pretty good season. He threw 26 touchdowns to 18 picks, and that's the difference there. Now, there has been a lot of speculation, and the Jets did fire their offensive coordinator today, or no, they parted ways with Brian Schottenheimer. They're bringing Tony Sparano. There's rumors of Todd Haley potentially joining the coaching staff as well. So I think they are ultimately going to work with Mark Sanchez to make him their guy. But one of the options that people have brought up, and we were speculating about this on the show the other night, is that the Jets could potentially be a team that gets involved with Peyton Manning. And I think that Peyton Manning is all but gone from the Colts. Whether I agree with that or not, I really do not. I don't understand getting rid of one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time to go after a guy that you just don't know what you're going to get in Andrew Luck. I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but is he going to be at Peyton Manning's level? I really doubt that. But a source within the team, this is what he had to say when he was asked about it. Come on, that's a no-brainer. If you have a chance to get a healthy 36-year-old Peyton Manning and you don't do it, then you're stupid. If I could get a healthy 36-year-old Peyton Manning, then hell yeah, I would trade Sanchez. I mean, I hate to break it to people, but that quote is common sense. That's not hating on Mark Sanchez. That'd be like, I mean, hell, I'm an Eagles fan. If the Eagles could get Peyton Manning, then hell yeah, I'd trade Michael Vick. That doesn't mean I dislike Michael Vick the way that a lot of Jets fans dislike Mark Sanchez, and I think that that's warranted in most cases. But if you could get Peyton Manning, they're a quarterback away. Really, I mean, an elite quarterback away. The defense is pretty strong. It wasn't as strong as it needed to be. But Peyton Manning fills a lot of holes in an Indianapolis Colts team this year that went 2-14 and didn't win a game till the 14th week of the season. Imagine giving him that defense. Maybe they'll revamp it a little bit. An offense that, yeah, the running backs aren't great, but LT's going to be gone. Sean Green is a good back. He's nothing out of this world. But if you can get Sean Green and then they'll bring in another back, whether it's through the draft or through free agency, it's going to be an improvement over what Peyton Manning has now currently in Indianapolis. And I think that in a lot of the cases in Indianapolis, obviously he had Reggie Wayne, but I think he made guys like Pierre Garçon and Austin Collie and even Dallas Clark. I think that a large majority of what made Dallas Clark so successful is the fact that he's played with Peyton Manning. So if you put Peyton Manning on the Jets, I think they're a lock to win the Super Bowl. I think they're a lock. It's not even a discussion. I think that would probably be one of the best teams Peyton Manning's ever played on. And the AFC, really, the Steelers to me come off as the one truly complete team. And they lost last week because of injuries, because of the Broncos just outplaying them. Patriots don't have a defense. I think that Peyton Manning would shred that defense up and they would win that game. The Ravens, I'm just not sold on them. I think Ray Rice is very good. I don't think he's this great player everyone talks about. I think Joe Flacco is a solid quarterback, but I don't think I'm gonna pick him to be Peyton Manning in any cases. And the Jets have wide receivers like Santonio Holmes and Dustin Keller is obviously the tight end, and the list goes on. They have pretty solid weapons, and if Peyton Manning's making guys like Pierre Garçon and Austin Collie, well then, if he goes to the Jets, he'll probably do that. The one question I think a lot of people have had with the potential of acquiring Peyton Manning is, what are you really going to get out of him? Believe me, if a team's going to trade what it takes to get Peyton Manning, which is probably numerous first-round draft picks, then trust me, this team is going to be 100% certain that Peyton Manning is healthy and ready to go. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of Jets fans, and there's a lot of people like that say, yeah, Peyton Manning's better, but Mark's our guy, let's just keep him, let's just work with him, do what we can. Let me just go through the stats of this season for Mark Sanchez compared to last season. Last year, Peyton Manning played, and let's be real about this. Yards, Mark Sanchez threw for 3,474. Respectable number. Peyton Manning threw for 4,700. Completion percentage, Peyton Manning has a 66 completion percentage, which is really solid. Mark Sanchez has a 56.7, which is decent. Touchdowns, 26, Mark Sanchez, and that's pretty good. Peyton Manning has 33, that's really solid, that's elite level. Interceptions, Peyton Manning threw 17, Mark Sanchez threw 18. The thing about the last season Peyton Manning played is he threw a lot more interceptions than he has throughout his career. Obviously, 2009 he also threw 16, so maybe that is something that is becoming a trend somewhat. But I mean, for a majority of his career, we're talking in the 9 and 10 pick range, from like 02 to 05 and 06. Those years, he was only throwing 9 or 10 picks. I think if he was sent to the Jets, a lot of the pressure, I mean, obviously he's going to be the man. There's going to be pressure on him to succeed, but not nearly as much as there is in Indianapolis. I think that, and let me read some other quotes from another player before I get to that. One respected player, according to Maida, says, plus he's a field general. He will get his playmakers the ball. We can win a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. The Jets are not going to win a Super Bowl with Mark Sanchez. You have seen the blueprint over the past 4 or 5 seasons of what it takes to win a Super Bowl. Starting in 06, Peyton Manning. 07, Eli Manning. Now, Eli Manning might be the one exception, but Eli Manning's certainly better than Mark Sanchez. And that team had an absolutely ferocious defense and a very good running game back when Brandon Jacobs was actually a very good running back. Oh, wait, I'm trying to think of who won all these Super Bowls now. Okay, the point is, Ben Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl, Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl, Tom Brady won a Super Bowl. What do all these guys have in common? They're all, Drew Brees even, they're all top 5 elite quarterbacks. That's what it takes. This is a passing league right now. I love the style of grinding it out and smashing you in the mouth. I love that style of football. But the bottom line is, you can't just have that and have I think Mark Sanchez is a below average quarterback and expect to win a Super Bowl. I know he got them to the AFC title game 2 years in a row. Really, the defense and the running game got them that far, and Mark Sanchez made a few nice throws. I'm going to give him that credit, but I don't think that they're going to go any farther than that. I don't think they're going to get back there again with Mark Sanchez. I don't see any. I really considered, and I was never high on Mark Sanchez. I think his college career was really not very good. I think that when you talk about the college career this guy had, it was very mediocre, especially for a guy who was playing at USC at that time, because the team was stacked, and then the one game that he really exploded that ultimately led him into the NFL was the Rose Bowl against Penn State, and he had a very good game in that game, and Penn State was just obviously overmatched in that game because USC was a way better team. Pete Carroll said it then, and I agreed with him. Mark Sanchez was not ready to come out. But I felt by year 3, Mark Sanchez would have elevated his game to a much higher level. And that just, it really hasn't happened. You've seen some improvement. You've seen a few flashes. But nothing to make me think that Mark Sanchez is worth the 5th pick in the draft. Nothing. Nothing to make me think that Mark Sanchez is ever going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And nothing to make me think that Mark Sanchez is even going to ever be a top 10 quarterback. So, I mean, the Colts and the Jets have a decision to make. The Jets have to decide if they're going to go after this guy. And they have to really commit to going to get Peyton Manning, because it's going to be a tough situation if you go after him and it's publicized, and then ultimately you can't land Peyton Manning, because then it's a tough situation for Mark Sanchez. As far as this final thing I want to get to, the teammates saying stuff unnamed, and people are saying, oh, if you're going to say it, then at least come out and just say it up straight. And Nick Mangold's come out and said that, the Jets center and one of their captains. What? I mean, let's say it's Santonio Holmes saying this, like he would have any room to speak now. Let's say it's Santonio Holmes or Darrelle Revis or whatever. You think Manish Mehta is going to be able to publish a report or get a report from a guy that's saying, oh, Darrelle Revis told me yesterday I have no confidence in Mark Sanchez and he's lazy? Like, come on, what player is going to do that and say, yeah, go ahead, publish my name. Publish my name. In an already torn up locker room, most guys' jobs are not safe unless it was someone like a Darrelle Revis, and that would just split the locker room up more. What do you gain by doing that? Absolutely nothing. A great job I made it to get this report, and for all the people criticizing it and saying, why would you publish this? Well, it's certainly causing a lot of buzz if you really don't care about it, apparently.